In tonight's episode, we go back in the past and we figure out what happened to everybody. When everybody's settling into their new homes, no problems, right? Wrong. Find out how here on Nephilim Entertainment. Hey, what is up, Walking Dead fans? How's it going? Welcome back to my coverage. I am Metron Urel, and you're watching Nephilim Entertainment. Thank you for watching my coverage of Fear the Walking Dead. This is episode number 2, Another Day in the Diamond. Yeah, I realized after I looked back that I was calling this series Fear the Walking, or Fear in the Walking Dead instead of Fear the Walking Dead, or something like that, so, my mistake. But somehow our group has made it to a stadium. We go back in the past and find out how they get from point A to point Z. Apparently they somehow made it, after everything went down at the dam, they made it to a stadium where they have been living. Everybody works there, does their own part, and apparently they've been there for a year now. So much so that Strand wants to celebrate with some syrup, oddly enough. And he's made him a friend, too. Nice little guy. I mean, I wonder if these two are going to hit it off. Who knows, especially with Strand. He's not exactly straightforward when it comes to any of his affairs, but Maddie is not sleeping. After she interviews this little girl, she ends up going on a bender of basically putting up a place for this little girl in a dugout. So naturally, everyone's a little concerned. Usually when someone doesn't sleep during a zombie apocalypse, it means they're starting to go a little batty. But she doesn't show any clear signs of it right now, so maybe we're good. Maybe. But the little girl's name is Charlie. And she mysteriously shows up to the stadium with nothing on her back but basically clothes and possibly a book. So her family is lost and town's over. Basically, the community in the stadium has basically, I guess you could say, made sort of like a little circle of what's safe. And anything outside that circle is considered, untouchable. So naturally, they're going to go outside of the circle. Figures, right? To get to the bottom of Charlie and her family. So while they're there, we find out that Lucy and Nick are, of course, back together doing their couples thing. Even though Nick likes to bring up the fact of her running away, and she likes to throw it up in her face. Careful, Nicky boy. When it comes to women, she can throw it up all she wants, and you have to accept it. But women they're a little bit different built. They might not appreciate you throwing things in her face for very long. I personally don't know what happened to her, how they got to the stadium, and how Nick and her got back together. I mean, we're just dropped right in the middle in the story. I mean, can we at least fill in some gaps here? I mean, I know we're having a flashback, but can we have a flashback within the flashback, within the flashback, within the flashback? I guess. I don't know. But with all this, they make it to the town. Strand, Alicia, Maddie, they make it to the town. Nick stays behind for some reason. And Lucy's there, by the way. Lucy's there. With Strand, Maddie, Lucy, and Alicia handling this, Nick stays behind for some reason. Nick's not really going outside, apparently. We don't really know why, but he's staying back to tend the garden. Sounds like a little bit of a Rick thing when he was at the prison. Right? Anyway, our 4 people arrive to the town, and apparently it is a ghost town. No pun intended, but there's nobody to be found. I mean, literally nobody. There's no living, there's no dead, there's nothing, not even bodies. I mean, they find a body here and there, mostly burnt up, but nothing drastic, right? So, naturally, a strange woman appears out of nowhere. Find out her name if you do any kind of research on any of the websites related to Fear the Walking Dead. Her name's Naomi. Apparently, she's going to be a front runner. Spoiler alert. But strange woman points a gun at Maddie's face. I should have known she was not a threat, not just because she was, one of the main taglines of the story, and she was someone that helped promote the story and all that. Like I said, a forerunner. But usually when someone points a gun in their face, they are making demands or making threats. Mainly, she was just holding up the gun as a whole beware kind of thing. And I have to applaud the group for handling it well because she looked kind of spacey, but she was, needless to say, she was kind of a little jumpy at the whole fact. But with all this going on, somehow she ends up climbing on top of a tanker and Maddie gives chase. Well, they end up falling into a tanker drum, oil drum, basically. And surprise, surprise, the dead is in there. So I have to applaud the creators of Walking Dead. They are getting very creative on how they do their walkers now. Or the dead, I'm sorry. But they get very creative. It's not just a simple, oh look, there's dead bodies everywhere. Look, they're rising. Oh, I mean, they literally keep you guessing. You don't know where the walkers are going to come from. I made fun of it in my last episode when I talked about every time there's a shootout, there's always walkers that pop up out of nowhere. But you have to admit, it does get kind of creative because you don't know where they're coming from. You know they're going to eventually pop up at some point because it is a zombie apocalypse. Zombies have to be a part of a zombie apocalypse or you just have nothing. But case point, I applaud the creators for being creative on where they put the zombies at. So, bravo, people. But Nick actually does venture a little bit outside. I mean, he wants to go and check on the people, but as soon as he goes outside the front gate, he starts having flashbacks of the dam, and he starts having a little bit of a panic attack, so much so he can't even drive a truck. This is also the same guy last season who literally drove a truck in the midst of a horde to get to his people and ended up having to dive into a helicopter for safety. So why is Nick having trouble driving through a small little field of zombie here, zombie here, zombie here instead of a whole horde? I'm thinking PTSD. PTSD is no joke whatsoever. I do not make fun of it and I do not take it lightly. I mean, I'm not surprised he has PTSD. I'm not, because he blew up a dam. That's traumatizing. I'm pretty sure he was very close to death at times. If not death, then, I mean, I know he made it off unscathed. But at the same time, I mean, it's when you cause that much destruction and the possibility of killing off your own family, it's a lot for him to take in, and in classic Nick style, he's not going to talk about it. So he finds another way to cope. How does he do that? Tending a garden. But guess what? Something's wrong with the garden. So naturally, he tries to venture out, and he can't exactly do that. Especially Nick, who has thrived since the beginning, he's not having trouble coping. It's very, very shocking, but at the same time, not surprising. I know what I just said, and it contradicted myself. It's it's very unnerving, but at the same time, not surprising. There we go. But as the group gets back, they get back to the stadium with Naomi. Gonna find out there's actually 47 people there. She'll make number 48, so it's a good number, right? Lucky number, right? But in any case, they get there, and with everything going down, like I said, things possibly go bad, and they do. Apparently, a strange caravan shows up, and it's interesting because the guy plays music, gets on a bike, and leads a bunch of dead up in the back of a truck. One, why are you keeping souvenirs? And two, what the hell's going on? So naturally, Maddie comes out to talk to him. He knows everything about the group. Everything. He knows everybody's name, knows what they got, how many supplies they got, how much food they got, how many people are in the stadium. How does he know all this? Well, our newest little addition, Naomi? No, Charlie, the little girl, is in fact a spy. It would explain why she was mums the word about pretty much everything. Why she was mums the word about her family, what happened to the groups, pretty much everything. And pretty much the guy who's the leader, I guess you could say, de facto leader, his name's Mel. And their entire intention, wait around until the inevitable happens and everybody dies. So they're going to come through and pick it clean, right? Yeah, apparently their main objective is the fact that, okay, you build a settlement, it's not going to work because it's bound to fail, and when it does, you'll die, and when you die, we'll take your stuff. Real wholesome people, real wholesome. But he does offer them a chance to join the group, and apparently no strings attached. I mean, do I think they have the secret to all this? I, I don't know. I mean, if you really think about it, do you really honestly want to be part of a group that travels around pretty much picking everything clean out of everything they find, living out of the back of a car? I mean, dude had a tandem bike on top of his vehicle, leading walkers. I wouldn't say tandem bike, sorry, but he has a bicycle and leads walkers in the back of a van. I mean, you know, if they collect walkers for any reason, they don't kill them, then these people are up to no good. But that's my theory. Well, I do applaud Lucy because she doesn't snap on a little girl. She actually is willing to walk over there, put the book down, and walk away. I applaud that. I know at some point, and especially Nick, because Nick did act a little hurt about it. I know at some point it's going to come up, but I do applaud Lucy for how she handled it pretty, just by the way, here's your book. She showed she cared because Nick asked her before she left if she can grab a book for Charlie, and she did. Who knows at what expense and who knows what personal sacrifice. I mean, she could have got it off all clear, or she could have had to deal with a couple of walkers. Either way, she took risk for a little girl she didn't know. I applaud her. And now we fast forward. And apparently, this convoy, they leave nice little markers with numbers on a white flag over pretty much every settlement. I guess to mark them. Well, they marked the people at the stadium like 100 and I think 23, something like that. I don't know. I have to look back, but pretty much in the 100 range. The settlement that Morgan and our new friends pretty much found, it's I think 15, maybe. So they're apparently going all over the place, picking places clean. And our group of survivors, Nick, Strand, Alicia, and Lucy, all think they're part of what Strand called the vultures. I don't know if that's their tagline officially, but I would love for them to be called the vultures. That's just my opinion because they pretty much do what a vulture does. They pick it clean and then move on to the next carcass, waiting for impending death, circling around like a vulture does. It's very creative. It's simple, but it's creative, and I like that. I hope they keep it, and I hope they do call them the vultures. And we wrapped the episode with our group of fear. Our fear people is now leaving our new group back to the settlement because apparently they're going to get bound to this mystery because they think that Morgan and Al and was his name John? I think his name was John. We're all part of that group, the Vultures. Well, we'll lead them back and we'll find out this. We'll get to the bottom of this mystery. Don't you worry. All right, up next on the Fear the Walking Dead. Our group and Morgan's group. By Morgan's group, we're talking about Morgan, John, and Al. They all turn the tables on our fear group. Apparently keep them hostage. In fact, it's actually comical because we see Morgan take down Nick with his stick. Nick goes down with a stick. Yeah. So, that's actually going on. But I pose a couple of questions. One, where is Maddie? Where's Madison? We don't know where she's at. We don't see her right now in any of the episodes. And apparently this has happened sometime after the previous episode, so we know Nick, Strand, Lucy, and Alicia survived, but what happened to Cole, Strand's new friend, which, by the way, I hope they work things out and get together. Got Cole, we got Naomi, Charlie, possibly, if she's not still with the vultures. And then we got a bunch of the other survivors. But Naomi, Cole, are at least two of the survivors I can think of where they're at. And not to mention, of course, our our forerunner, Madison. Where is Madison Clark? Please, someone inform me. Because right now we have no clear indication that she's even alive. That something happened, which, I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse. We're going to die. I know that. But I want answers. But that's going to be a wrap for me. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up down below. Let me know what you think about this episode. Post a comment being all friendly. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to the end of the video for more content. But my question for y'all is, are y'all wanting answers too? Is it just me? I mean, am I the only one that's, asking 1,000 questions right now? Time jumps are always the nerve-wracking of what happened? What happened? So, naturally, maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. Maybe we'll have another flashback. Either way, hopefully we'll get some news. But it's going to be right for me. I'm Madison, and you're watching Netflix Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.